Today, what we are going to learn is basically about the lesson which is about transformation, how we can do transformation. Okay, what is transformation? Edit or distort, change the shape of any object, change the rotation of it, change the angle of it, mirror it. These kind of things are basically known as the transformation. So we will learn how to do the transformations. Okay, so this is a final artwork that we are going to create. This is what we are going to create. We will have some of the objects, okay, but those objects are basically not as same as this. They are just straight away, they are just randomly spreaded out, so we have to convert them and we have to make them look like this. Okay, so what we are going to learn is that how to edit, add, rename, and reorder artboards. Okay, these are artboards. So how we can work on artboards, because still we have not worked on the artboards. So in this lesson we will work on the artboards. How we can navigate artboards, like how from one artboard we can move to the another artboard to the third, like from first to second to third, and how we can work on the rules. If you can see on the top we have these rules. Okay, these are the ruler areas, and guides. Okay, if you will see on the bottom we have the guides here as well. How to position objects, whatever we have, how with the precision, means like exactly where it have to be. How to move, scale, rotate, reflect means you can say mirror. How to shear or skew objects. Okay, and more of these methods, and how to do free transformation tool to distort any object, to change its entire shape, and how to use the puppet warp tool. Okay, so these are the main things that we are going through this lesson. So all these lessons files already I have given it to you. So the one that you have to open up is the lesson 5 and start.ai. Okay, L5 underscore start.ai from lesson 5 here. Okay, so this is the chapter 8 of the whole course, but lesson 5 of the Adobe Classroom in your book. Okay, now we have all these items. As I told you, we'll have everything, but it does not look like exactly that the one that we are going to produce in the end. So we have initial objects and we have to convert them to look like the one those final result which I showed it to you. Okay, now once we have this, the first thing we will study is about the artboards. What are the artboards? Okay, artboards are basically areas or document windows where you have to work on. So basically this white area is an artboard. In Illustrator, you can have more than one artboard. You can arrange them the way you want. They can be in different sizes. Okay, so considering that this final output that we will produce today will go for printing. Okay, so we have to arrange our artboards in that way so that the printing press, when they are printing, they can easily print. Okay, so this can be our like a folded, you can say folded leaflet, which will have front page, okay, inside 2 pages, and the back page. Okay, so it's a folding 2 pages leaflet, front, back, and then inside spread, which is 2 pages. So that's what we are going to create today out of these. So for that we do have 2 pages which is inside. Okay, left, right, 2 pages which is inside pages, but we don't have artboard for the front, we don't have artboard for the back, but we have artwork, but we don't have artboard. This can go for the front, this can go for the back, but we don't have artboard for that. So first thing is that how we can create artboard. Okay, so to create or to add an artboard, there are a couple of different ways. We have one option over here which is the artboard tool, and here we have edit artboard. Okay, now edit artboards and artboard tool will bring you the same options. So if I will click here or here, it will give me the same option. If I will click on edit artboard, now I'm inside the artboard mode. You can see the artboard is now highlighted with a bounding box with dash blue color or white color line. Okay. Now here I can do a lot of things. I can edit this artboard, I can resize this artboard, I can rotate or transform, move, whatever I want. But at this stage, what I want is to create an artboard. Okay. Now to create an artboard, what I can do here is that simply if I will go on my screen, you can see my cursor looks like this. That means if I will click and drag anywhere on the screen, it will start creating an artboard. So first, let me make an artboard for the back artwork. So I will go somewhere here. Okay, maybe because it snaps usually, so it snaps somewhere here. Okay, because this line, if you can see, is quite here. So I will try my best to start from here. Okay, and then I will click here, draw an artboard just like this, drag my mouse, and while my mouse left button is clicked, I will draw something like this artboard, and these smart guides are helping me to create. Okay, once I'm done, I will leave my mouse. Now I might change the size a bit. I don't want the same size over here. Okay, let's see over here what I can change. Now the width over here, if you see, the width is 800 pixels, which is fine because I was using smart guide and it made exactly the same width as I have down here. So those pink smart guides were helping me, and I was able to snap at 800 pixels width. But height is too is kind of too long for me. So I have, I don't want a tall looking artboard. I want a shorter one. So what I can do, instead of 971 pixels, I can type over here 850 pixels, and I will press enter. So I just type here 850, and that made a shorter one for me. Okay, which I think is fine. I kind of need this one at this stage. Let me zoom out more here. Okay, now to zoom in and zoom out, you can press Control key on your keyboard and use your mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. If you're using Mac, then you have to press Command key on your keyboard and use your mouse wheel to zoom in and scroll in or out to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so Control key is here for which is used with the mouse key. Okay, with the mouse middle scroll button, roller. Okay, now I want another one because I just created for the back. I want one more which I can create for the front side. Okay, to create something for the front side, what I can do here is that I can just simply click one time on the screen. So what it will do is that whatever last value I used, it will use the same values and just duplicate that one here. Okay, but I don't have to click and drag and draw. I just have to press once. Okay, so I will just press once over here. Okay, and just wait. Okay, yeah, I think I have to press this button, the new art button, then it will create it. Okay, so instead of pressing here just once, you have to press this button, the new artboard button, and once you press this one, then it will create it. Okay, so that's how we got it here. Okay, so this is how you can duplicate one artboard. How you can do that? The one that you have created last time, the values are recorded. So when you press the new artboard button here, it will take the same values and create another one. Okay, so the same values now is duplicated here. Now what I need to do is I just have to rename them. Okay, this one, the number 2, I will rename it to back. So how I can rename it? I have to select it, just click it here. There is artboard name. I will rename it, just select here. Instead of artboard 2, I will rename it to back. So when I save it, the printing press or other people, anywhere where I'm sending it for printing, they automatically will know that I'm trying to print it. Okay. The next thing is here, the artboard number 1. So this one should be front. So I will select the artboard number 3. Sorry, it's not number 1, number 3. So if I select the artboard number 3, and I will change and rename it to front. So now both are renamed, back and front. Okay. Now what I want is that I don't want this front to be here on this side, because I want a good order. I want the order to start from here. So front should be here. So I can click and drag. Okay. And you can see it is centrally aligned to this one, this like magenta purple line. You can see that it's keeping me in that center, but I don't have the same space here, so don't worry about the space. It's okay. Okay. Now they are on the same like edges over here, but not same space, so don't worry, we can fix that later on. Okay. Now I have front, I have back. Now what I want here is that I want to change the size of this one, the bigger one here. If I click over here, you can see that it's quite taller than the size of the artwork. Artwork is still here, but the length goes still here of this artboard, which is not right. I think I should make it a little shorter. So what I can do here is that I can click here, drag this height to where the artwork is, and automatically it will snap. Okay, that's how I will be able to snap it. Okay, and rearrange it. Now they are not quite aligned. They both are a little bit, at the bottom. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me like move it up on purpose so that we can learn how to align them. So they all are spreaded out. Okay, they don't have good spacing between them. So what I can do here is that I can select all these artboard by pressing shift key on my keyboard and selecting them one by one, just like this. I cannot draw a like a bounding box around it, because if I will drag anything, it will start creating an artboard. Okay, so that's I cannot do. So I have to select multiple items. I have to press shift and manually click one by one on the artboards that I want to create. So there are some numbers of artboard you can create, some maximum number of artboard. Okay. Now what I want here is that I want to align them so they both so they all are on the same level vertically. Okay, so here I have vertical align center. So if I press this button, they all will be aligned vertically in this way. Now they are not equally distributed. You can see that there are some unequal spaces. So to do that, I have here this option, which is horizontal distribute center. If I click here, they all will be individually in the center, and automatically it will create a space. Okay, so individually now they are in the center, and that what it did is that it made an equal space between these artboards. Okay, and now what I can do is that I can let me click anywhere outside to deselect them. So they are deselected. This one you can see front, this one is back, but this one doesn't have a name. It says artboard 1. So let's rename this one as well and call it inside. Okay, so now they are known as inside, which is like good enough, and you can easily guess what are they and how they are working. Okay, now once we are done with this part, with renaming and everything, we can also arrange its like order. Okay, because right now front is at the beginning, then this starts, and then this starts, the back starts, but that's not the real order. If you will see the numbers over here, okay, so this says 03 front, 01 inside, 01, 02 back. So if I will move from one artboard to another artboard from here, this option here bottom, or there is one more option whenever if we exit here, okay, you can see here that we have artboards and we can shift from one artboard to another. If I will go to number 1, this is number 1. If I go to number 2 by pressing this button or going through the list, it will take me here. Then if I press it again, it will take me to artboard 3. So I don't want that because this is not the right order. So I can go inside the edit artboard again, and then I can go to window, and then there are some artboards option here, which is the first one. You can see artboards. If I click here, it will give me this option here. And if you see here, there is a quite like you can say like a bit of a sequence going on here. Inside is now on number 1, back is on number 2, front is on number 3. I want front to be on number 1. So what I can do, I can click on front, okay. Manually you can drag it just like this on the top, so it will reach on number 1. Or what you can do is that, let me bring it back, you can select front, and here is the arrow key. You can click on it and it will keep on going like on the top list. Now it is on the top and it is grayed out. That means it cannot go much more higher. Okay, so this is how we are now able to reorder it. So I can close this, I can exit this one, and now you can see that if I go to number 1, this is number 1. If I press next button, this is number 2, and this is number 3. Okay, so this is how you can rearrange your artboard so that according to your numbering. What this will do is that this will help us. This will help the printing press especially to print in order. Otherwise, what will happen? The page numbers will be wrong. Okay, so they will have the idea. Okay, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, and then the back side is number like this one. Okay, number 4. But there are 3 artboards, so it will be 1, 2, 3 artboards. But it will give you a rough idea how it is. Okay, because this artboard is a 1 artboard divided into 2, so that's why it is 3, not like 4. But they will have automatically idea once they will print how it should be. Now what I need here is that I need to put a ruler. Now what does a ruler do? Ruler gives you coordinates. Okay, it will arrange your coordinates. For example, if I take a rectangle and draw it over here, okay, and make it let me make it black. So just I'm giving an example here. This is not the part of the artwork. Here, if you will notice that I have like a blue dot in the center. This blue dot is what? This is the reference point from where it will be moving. Okay, so I will change this reference point here. What is reference point? Let me tell you an example here. Suppose if I want to rotate this like rectangle, you can see it is rotating from the center because the center is the reference point. Let me undo. Go and if I go here and choose the reference point, the top right, or sorry, top left, and then start rotating it. Okay, just wait. Okay, now if I will go here, I think from here, if I will start rotating it, so you can see it is rotating from that angle. From here it is rotating. You got the idea? So that's what the reference point actually do. So now the reference point is here, and this is width of the square. Okay, width and height. This is the location. If I type 0 pixels here and 0 pixels here on the Y, so taking this top left point here, it will go to 0, 0. This is 0, 0. But how I will know this is 0, 0? To know these values, let me deselect everything by clicking outside so I can go to the property of the document. I have here ruler and grid. So if I will press here ruler, it will show me a ruler. Now you can see here there is a 0 and there is a 0 over here. That means crossing here and crossing here is the 0, 0 value. This is 100, okay, and 100 is here. If I move horizontally to 100, just like this. So you can see that uh, a small line is moving across here. Okay, so I can move something like here. Okay, so some like 100 here, approximately, not exactly, and same 100 I will do go down. Okay, so you can see that I'm on x 100. This point is on 100 horizontally and vertically also. So this is how the ruler helps me to arrange my object. Okay, now this should, the 0 0 ideally should be on the top left, which is right, which is, it is here, it is like 0 0 over here, which is exactly what we are looking for. This is what uh, we want. Okay, uh, but if I will go to my other artboards, like suppose this one. Okay, so here if I will put something, okay, like suppose, let me go to this one, second one here. Okay, if I will place it here just to check if the 0 0 is here as well, so I can put it 0 0. Okay, this is fine. Okay, 0 0 is here as well. Okay, now let me go to the next one, this one, which is the back. Put it here, try to put 0 0 here. Okay, so all 0 zeros are there, so it is working fine. Okay, so they all should be 0 0 here. If they are not, so what you can do is that you can just click anywhere here and start moving it up to create a 0 0. Okay, so like here, but it is fine, it is already 0 here, 0 here. But if it's not, you can move by clicking here, you can move anywhere, and you can see now the 0 0 is here because I moved it here. Okay, so but I don't want, I have to click it back and move to this intersect. Now again 0 0 is here. So this is how you can move by clicking here and moving your mouse and leaving the mouse button here. Now there are some guidelines you can create. Why do you need guidelines? To help you to arrange items. Okay, suppose I want a guideline and in this row, so this can tell me that this is my baseline and all the artwork should be on top of it. Okay, so what I can do, I can go to this top area, which is this top ruler, click my mouse left button on it and drag. When I drag, a line will start dragging. It's quite very fainted, you cannot see as it is very light, but usually if you will try that, click and drag, you will get a dotted line, and wherever you want to stop, you can click on it and it will stop there. So you can see this a blue line. This is basically what, it's a guideline which I dragged and dropped it here. Okay, I can rearrange the position of it by clicking here, by clicking on it. So if I click on this guideline and I can arrange it. Okay, first I need to make sure it is unlocked so I can move it. But if you will go in the values here, there is the value here. Okay, so the Y value, I want it to have a 600 pixels Y value. So somewhere over here I want it to be. Okay, so that at least I know this is area which I should be putting some items. Okay, and so it should not disturb. So this is how you can add a guideline by pressing here and dragging. But when you press and drag, it creates a guideline for the whole project. Okay, starting start from the first artboard till the end and moving it across. Okay, so what I can do here is that I can select and delete this as well. But if I want only one like guideline, suppose for only this artboard, so what I can do here is that, okay, I can press on my keyboard. Let me check here. What's the shortcut here? Okay, so while dragging, you can press Control and Shift. Okay, and make sure wherever you are dragging it, you can click in that form. Okay, so let me try that, because usually you have to be a little precise with that. Okay, So this is not activated. I think you have to go to edit artboard and then you have to try. Yeah. So you have to go inside the edit artboard and then you have to drag by selecting that artboard, and then you can exit when you have once you have it. So this is how you can add a single art or like a guideline. This one will be for only this artboard, not for any other. So you have to go in the edit artboard, then create, then select the artboard and create it. But I don't want any more guidelines, so I will delete it. Okay. Now, once we are done with this whole thing, what I need to do is that I need to change my units. I'm working on pixels right now, but not anymore because I have arranged all my artboards, all the settings here. Now I don't want to work in pixels, I want to work in inches. So I can go in my document setting. You have to make sure nothing is selected. Deselect by clicking anywhere outside, so everything is deselected. Go to units, choose inches. Once you will choose inches, then you will be free to work on any any part basically. Okay, so it's clear. So this is like, this will actually help you to create your artboards over here, like artboards over here. Now what I need to do here at this stage is that I can simply start now putting some of the like a options over here. First of all, I have to check where is my artboard, my like a zeros. So my zero is basically here and here. But what if I don't want my zero to be here on the top left? I want the zero to be here on my bottom left. Okay, so what I can do is that you can just simply click here, go to the bottom and make a 0 0 here. So this will be my bottom 0 0 at this stage. Okay, so this is how I can change it. Okay, and then if you want, you can do that. Otherwise I can just simply undo it. I don't want to do that. So you can notice that the space between each of these rulers are now much wider because we are using what? We are using inches. Now let's rearrange these. Okay, now you can see this guideline. So by mistake, if I click on it, so it can move, which you might not want to do that. So what you can do, you can go to your document like setting properties, make sure everything is deselected. You have this lock guide option. You just press on the lock guide option, so it will be locked. So you will not have any issues. Now I cannot I will not be able to move this. It will lock it. So by mistake, if I click on it, so it will not allow me to move it. So that means I'm on a safe side in terms of that. Okay, now what I want here is that I want to move around this one and a little bit transform it. Okay, so first thing is what I want to move it here 0 0. So if I click on it and if I type here in the x0 and the y0, okay, it will simply directly move me here, because if you will see, I have selected the artwork and the reference point I'm using is the same reference point where the 0 0 is here, okay, of the artboard, x0 y0. Clear? Okay, now we can start working with the other one. Okay, now I will take this one here. Okay, go to this one, put it somewhere here. Okay, and then, because the reason I have put it here, so that I will make if it is here, so Illustrator can get confused which 0 0 I'm talking about. Am I talking about the 0 0 of this or the first one? So a little bit here. So, or make sure you are on artboard number 3, bottom one. If it says number 3 here or it says number 3 here, that means you are on safe side. If I will move it, it will go to the 0 0 of the artboard number 3, which is this. So I will type here 0 Okay, X, type here 0Y, and it will be on here. Okay, so carefully I have arranged it. Now my back is done, my front is done. Now we have to work on this one by one. So first of all, let's see how we can scale object. Okay, now to scale object, we have here this character. Now let's see how the character is made. If I isolate the group, so I will move inside the group. I'm now inside the group. Now if I click on each body parts here, you can see that they are not stroke, they are fill. Okay, but the hands are basically what? They are strokes, they are not fill. So hands are strokes, rest of the other body parts are fill. If I want to resize it, okay, so what will happen over here is that, okay, suppose if I will go to the size here, okay, and type here some values here to resize it, like width and height, both I want same like values. So what I can do is that I can check this uh, like maintain width and height proportions. I can press on it. It's already pressed. So what it will do is that if I will change width, the height will change accordingly. If height will change, the width will change accordingly, both together. So it will not get distorted because both are connected. Now I can type a value. Suppose I want 30 pixels, I can type here 30px. If I want 5 centimeter, I can write 5 cm. So I don't have to go here and change the like units all the time. You can write whatever units you want. Also, suppose if you want to reduce it and scale it down 30%. So what I can do is that I can go in the width and type here 30%. That means I'm going below 100%, and going below 100% means I'm scaling it down. So what it will do is that it will scale it down to 30%. Okay. Now, as I told you in the last classes, whenever you scale anything, everything scales up except for the strokes. So you can see that the hands are strokes. Okay. So if I will type here 30%, press enter, and you can see that it is scaled down, but look at the hands. Hands are still with the same stroke width, because size got smaller, but the stroke width, whatever width it is using, is same. So if I will take my direct selection tool and click on it, okay, because it will allow me to select individual parts, 31 stroke is the size of the stroke. So the stroke doesn't change. So what I need to do here to avoid this, let me undo it. I will select it with my normal selection tool so that it can select the whole thing. Okay. And then what I can do here is that I can click on it and make sure here, if I press this more options button, there is scale corner, scale, stroke and effects. Here also there is scale, stroke and effects. If I click over here and then I go back here and type 30%, okay, so what it will do is that it will change the size of the stroke as well. So if I will take my direct selection tool, click on the stroke, and you can see before it was 30 something, now it is 9.3. Okay, let me take my normal selection tool again. So this is how you can change the scale of strokes and effects, because usually strokes and effect doesn't change. But if you will check this value from here, or either from here or from here, so it will work. Okay. Now I was able to change it without any issues now. Okay, so this is how we can change this. Okay, so it's scaled. We have scaled it down. Now another way to scale down something is through scaling option. And where you can find the scaling option, right over here under the rotate tool. If you go to the rotate tool, under the rotate tool there is a scaling option. Now how the scaling option works? So if I will take my flower from here, I can scale down my flower through the scaling option. Now this scaling option works with number of ways. You can click on it. Once you click on it, you have to see where is your reference point. So this blue line here, this blue mark over here, like tells us that this is our reference point. So if I will scale it, okay, so it will scale to this reference point. But if I will click on my scale tool, then click bottom just one time, so what will happen? The reference point will go on the bottom. Now if I will try to scale it, okay, so you can see it is scaling downwards because the reference point is here. You can press shift keys if you don't want to make it ununiform scale, okay, so it will go just like this. Okay, so you got the idea. So scaling tool will restrict you for that thing. Okay, now that's how you can do it. Another way to scale your object with the scaling tool is that select your object, okay, don't drag or do anything with it. Simple, what you need to do is that select your object, then double click the scale tool. Okay, once you double click it, you will have this option here, and what this option tells you, how much size you want. I want the like how much scale you want to do it. Do you want to scale it down 20%? Do you want to scale it up 20%? So if you will go higher value, it will scale up. If you go lower value, like if you go more than 100%, it will scale it up. If you will go lower than 100%, it will scale it down. Right now I'm using uniform, so height and width both are same, and then it shows me that there is a 20% increase or decrease. Clear? Once I'm done with this part, what I need to do next is just to press OK, and I will have my option here. I have this one here. Okay. Other thing what I can do here is, let me undo that. Okay, and then double click it, scale option again, and what I can do here is that 20% I have written here, but then it says OK or copy. If I press copy, what it will do, it will keep the original as it is, but it will make a copy of it. Okay, so that's one thing, but I want like it to be smaller. Now as I have the smaller one here, I can drag it, I can put it somewhere here, okay, over this ground. Okay, and then what I can do is that I can make a copy of it and put it somewhere here. Now how to make a copy? You can go to edit, copy and paste, okay, or copy in front if you wanted to copy in the front of the original, or at the back of the original, or right on the original. Okay, that's one way to do it. But the shortcut is, you can press Alt on your keyboard or Option on your keyboard if you're using Mac, then drag it to the to wherever you want. So the original will not drag, the copy will drag. Okay, so this is a quick way to make copies. Okay, let me zoom in just to see if it is on the ground. It's not on the ground, so I have to move it manually just like this. Okay, so this is how you can create your copies. Now apart from scaling, we have another transformation which is called reflection, or you can say mirror. I have this wind sort of thing here, and I want to mirror it downwards, okay, and not the original, a duplicate. So the original stays as it is, and there is a duplicate which is mirror down. To do that, we will use the same scale tool area, and when I will keep it clicked, I will see there is a reflect tool. So once I will click on the reflect tool, I can do reflection by selecting first from where I want to reflect, maybe from this part, and then I can reflect it down or something like that, but it will create a it will not create a copy. So what I can do here is that I can simply double click here, reflect tool, okay, and how you want the reflection to be, horizontal reflection or vertical reflection. So I want a vertical reflection, sorry, horizontal reflection, and I want a copy of it. So if I will press copy, so it will make a one here, but it's basically on the top. I don't know why it's there on the top, so I have to move it down here. Okay, so that's what we have here. We have now a reflection of it. You can move it down to make it like something like this. Now this artwork, what I can do is I can select them both, and I can move it somewhere here, and a bit change I will do over here. What change I want here is that I first of all, let me select both of them, and little bit I will position it here. Okay, now the top part I will want to keep it as it is, but bottom part I want to change the size, but at the same time I want to change its stroke and its stroke. I don't want to change the size of the stroke. I want to keep the size of the stroke same. Okay, so I will go back to this option. Okay, scale and stroke effect, uncheck it from here or from here, uncheck the scale and stroke effect. Now I will scale it up a little bit. Okay, by pressing shift key I will uniformly scale it up like this. Okay, from the corner point. Now I have this kind of a result here. Okay, so I am done with this wind part. Now let's see how we can rotate our objects. Okay, to rotate objects, we have this figure. Let me move it a little bit up here. Okay, now to rotate it, there are a number of ways. If I because whenever you select any object, automatically by default you have a bounding box which have transformation tool. So if you will go on the corners, you will see this kind of cursor which allow you to rotate. Okay, if I will rotate, it will increment every one like a point degree. So it is quite like it's very fine rotation. So you cannot exactly rotate on 90 degrees or 45 degrees. So in order to do that, you have to snap, and to snap you have to press shift on your keyboard, then start rotating. So when you rotate, you can see that every 45 degrees it snaps. Okay, just like this. So you can do with the shift key. So I will rotate it with the shift key. Okay, and it will be rotated. Now there is one more way to rotate, and that is from the rotation option. So let's do one thing. Let's go here. There is one object here. I will move it. This is basically a blade of a windmill, like a fan blade of the windmill, which we have here on the top. So this is where it is. So another way of rotating is, if I will go to the same option here where we have the scale and we have reflect, we have the top, which is the rotate tool. The shortcut is R. If I press R on my keyboard, I will get the rotate tool. So when I press R, I can start rotating it just like this, and it will rotate from the reference point which you have assigned. So if I don't want the reference point at this stage, I can do what? I can click anywhere else, like suppose here. And now if I will rotate it, it will rotate from here. Okay. So that's pretty simple to rotate it. But if I will press shift key on my keyboard and start rotating, what it will do is that it will rotate, but every 45 degrees. Other thing this rotation tool can do is that it can create number of copies if you want. Okay, so number of copies means, like suppose if I will press shift keys for snapping at every 45 degrees with the alt key, because I told you if you press alt key on your keyboard and move any object, its copy will move. Same thing if you will press alt key on any on your keyboard and rotate any object, the original will stay, copy will move. If you will press alt key on any object and scale it up, original will stay, the duplicate will scale. So alt key works for all kind of transformation. So I will press shift and alt at the same time, shift for snapping at 45 degrees and alt for duplication. Just see my reference point is here, so it will always rotate from here. So I will rotate one time. Okay, just wait one thing. I have to press it again. Okay, now whenever you want to press alt and shift, make sure you start rotating it first. When you start rotating it first, then you press alt and shift. Don't press alt and shift in the beginning. Okay, you have to press alt and shift when you start rotating it. Once you start rotating it, now you can press alt and shift. So I will now press alt and shift. Okay, and I can go to 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees, and it will create a copy. I will repeat. I will start rotating this one. While it is rotating, I will press alt and shift again. and rotate it to minus 19 degrees again. Now I will start rotating it again and press Alt and Shift again and start and then press Alt and Shift and then leave it. So I will have this whole uh, group of fans here. So what I will do, I will select all of these, okay, and I can group them from here. I can group them. Now what I can do is that I can go to this rotation property here, double click it, and instead of minus 90, I will type here 45. Now you can see my preview is on, because preview, what it will do, it will show me the result. But if I press enter on my keyboard, what it will do is that it will apply the like the effect here. I don't want to apply, I want to see. So instead of pressing enter, you can press tab on your keyboard. On Mac or on PC, they are same, tab. If I press tab on my keyboard, it will show me the result. If I don't like it, I can change it back. Otherwise, if you will press enter, it will press OK, then you have to undo, then you have to go back and change. But tab will show you the preview. You can change it if you don't want. I like this, I will press OK. Clear? Once it is OK, it's already grouped. So what I can do here is that I can move it up here and put it somewhere here in the center of this. Okay, automatically it will snap, because smart guides will help you to do that. Okay, so this is how you can create, how you can rotate in different ways. Now let's see how you can distort your objects. Okay, now distorting basically, one thing, let me do here. Okay, now distorting means to reshape any object or mutate any object. Okay, so let's start and distort these flowers. So if I will take my black arrow key and select the flower, the whole flower will select, which I don't want. I want this part of the flower, the actual part of the flower. So to select individual parts, which tool do we use? Usually we use the tool which is the direct selection tool. So I will deselect everything by clicking anywhere outside. Okay, then take my direct selection tool and click on this flower part. Now this only this flower part is selected. As you can see, the fill says yellow, that means this is the one. Okay, and also the bounding boxes around that. Now what I can do is that I can go to my effects option, okay, distort option, then I have pucker and blot. Now what the pucker and blot do, you can see these points here, the curve points. It will bring these curve points in or out, and in opposite direction these curves in and out. So if I go to pucker, you can see right now the value is 0. If I go to pucker, okay, which is on the left side, so you can see that these blue anchor points, the area over here will start sucking in. Okay, can you see that? Sorry, it will start like sucking out, and the area which is the curves here will start sucking in. Okay, what is blot? Blot is opposite of. If I increase the blot, it's opposite. The blue part will start sucking in, and the other parts which is outside will start like pushing out. Okay, so that's how it will do. So I want to give a value, but not too high. Okay, maybe I will give a value of 35. So I will type here 35. Okay, to preview, I will press tab on my keyboard. So I like this one, I will press OK. Now I can apply the same thing here. Okay, go here, effects, distort and transform, pucker and blot, 35, and I know how it will look like, so I will just press OK. So this is how you can apply different kind of distort effect. Now there are more other distort effect here. Okay, so let's apply one here. Okay, so I will select this one, this flag, and let's apply one effect here, which is in the distort and transform, which is called twist. So I will go to twist, and I will get this value of twist, 20 degrees. So you can see 20 degrees it is twisting. If I will change it to 50, press tab to see what is the result. It is now much more higher. I don't want this. I think 20 is fine. I will keep it 20. So you can see that it is twisting and giving a bit like a twist effect, and it's giving the illusion that it is like flapping in the air. Okay, so like it's flying, it's waving in the air. So I will just press OK. Now I want the result on all of this. If I will select single, so the effect will be applied on each individual on its own. But if I will select all of it, so what Illustrator will do is that it will apply a whole effect on average level to whole thing, because it will consider all of them as one object. So I have select them all. Now I will go to effects. Okay, distort and transform, then twist. Now you can see that here it is less because it's counting them as the whole thing. Okay, and it's also quicker. So I will press OK over here. Okay, now this is how you can do the distort transformation. Okay, but let's see how we can do free transformation. Okay, not from the effects but from the free transform option. So let me go here and I will apply the effect here basically. Now I have here this signboards and I want to change those. Now I don't want to select individual signboard. I want to select both at once. So I will select my normal selection tool and then I will click it. Okay, once I will click it, it will select the whole thing. Now transformation tool is basically here, pre-transform tool. If I click it here, it will give me this option. Now by default it is not here. You have to bring it here. If you don't see it on your screen, what you need to do, you have to click on edit toolbar. You have to find it here in the list, free transform tool, which is here, and drag it wherever you want. So it wasn't there, but I dragged it last time, so that's why it is here. Okay, so it gives me these three different kind of options. Okay, now here this option, I have free transform. I can just freely transform the way I want it. Okay, but I want this option, which is the second one, perspective distort. What does the perspective distort do? You will see now these corners are turned into circle. So if I will go up or down, it will start distorting it from one side. It's trying to forcefully creating a perspective. Okay, so what I want is that I want it to be a little bigger than it was before, but not too big. Okay, something like this. Okay, so once I'm done, what I can do is that I can repeat the same thing on the bottom one. Okay, so I will take my normal selection tool, click on the bottom one, go back here to my free transform, take the same perspective distort, and I will distort it just like this. Okay, approximately same size. Okay, now if you will see that they are quite moved, this part is not in the center of this, so we can fix that. Okay, but later on, let's apply some other effect here. Let's select this one, go back to your free transform, and here we have this option which is called free distort. Okay, so what does the free distort do? Free distort basically will allow you to rotate like this. Okay, but actually I don't want that. This is basically fine. Here maybe at this stage I will little bit try to move from here, that's all. Okay, like this, and same thing I will do here. Okay, I will take my free distort, move this one a little bit up, and move this one to the left. Okay, just like that. Now I want to apply some 3D-ish effect on it, so it actually looks like they are pointing somewhere. To do that, I will again go to this rotation tool and keep it pressed so I can get all the under group objects. Like there is a one tool here which is called shear tool. Shear tool, what it will do is that it shears your object or skews your object. So if I will select this signboard, now you can see the center of it is here. Okay, the reference point. If I click anywhere here, and try to move my mouse up, down, or left or right, you can see that how it is shearing. Okay, so I will press shift key on my keyboard so in order to go in a straight line. Okay, and shear it in this direction here, just like this. Okay, and leave my mouse. It will look like something like this. Don't worry, we will fix that later. Now I will go to the next one, go to the shear tool again, and then I will do the same thing here. Press the shift key so that will be shear. It will shear in the straight line and move down, and somewhere over here you can see somewhere here. Okay. Now I can take my normal selection tool and start moving them individually to the right area. Okay, this line I want it to be in the center of this line. Okay, so let me move this one here, so it will be hidden here. Okay, now this line I want to be in the center of this line. Okay, but here, and I want them to be on the same level, just like this. Okay, now I want to do is what I want to arrange these accordingly, so it looks like they are actually they're not far apart. Okay, so this is how you can use your distort tool and other things. Okay, I can move this one here, I can move this one here. Okay, now as you know, the line for this one is quite hidden behind, but for a line for this one is on the top, so it looks slanted, it does not look straight. So what I can do, I can go to my direct selection tool. Okay, click on this line and just one more time I will click it so I can individually move it and try to move it in the center of this one as well. Yeah. Okay, so now this is fine. Okay, and what else I can do here is that to make an illusion, a perfect illusion, I can take my direct selection tool, click on this north pole, click on the north. Okay, all these things from the north, right click on it, arrange and bring it to front. Okay, so I think let me do one thing here. I will select all these here, these ones. Okay, and right click here, arrange, bring to front, and then this one I will right click the back, right click, arrange, bring it to front. Okay, and then again I will right click and bring send backward, so it will go one time back. Okay, so now you can see that it is kind of creating that kind of like sort of illusion. Okay, or here what I can do is that this one, let me do one thing. Instead of doing it this way, I can click here and I can ungroup that, so it will be ungrouped. Take this one, okay, and arrange and send to backward. Okay, and again I have to do that, send to backward. Okay, now it's fine. Once it is done, then what I can do here is that I can join this at this stage. Okay, little bit I have to increase with the direct selection tool the size of this so it matches. Okay, just like that. Now I can take all of this and I will try to move this in the center. Okay, or I think it's better to keep it there. Much looks better there. Okay, so this is kind of an illusion. We will have this, okay, because you have to undo, you have to ungroup in order to change separately. Okay, now this is what this is coming in on the way, so let me move it this side. Okay, so this is how you can change some of these parts here. Okay, now one more thing I want to do here is that, let me do one thing. Let me take this one and move it here, because there is no much space there, because you have to also follow principle of designs, so you should have space. Now I want to move this one and drag it somewhere here on the top. Okay, now it looks good, but I want to give it some kind of a feeling, like a comical feeling, and I want to make him look like it is wavy. Okay, so there is a tool here to make things wavy, or depending on that, or what is called, it's called puppet tool. So puppet tool by default is not here. You have to press this three dots here, search for it. Okay, and here somewhere you will find the puppet tool. Okay, let me check here. Here it is, puppet tool. Okay, so this puppet tool you have to press, drag it here, but I already dragged it here, puppet warp tool, so I don't need it. What I need to do now is that I will press here, I will select this person, and I will click on the puppet warp tool. What does the puppet warp tool do? Automatically it creates a mesh. This triangles that you see here are called mesh. Automatically it will create mesh, and it will automatically create these points. Now what are these points? These points, if I move, it will move it like this. Can you see that? Like individual body parts, it will move and bend it like it is bending the bone. Okay, I can add these, or I can delete these as well. I can rotate them as well. The mesh, this small triangles here, is the quality. Okay, right now the quality here is 2 pixels. If I want, I can increase it more, but 2 is enough for me. Okay, now what I want to give it a feeling of holding from this hand the pole from here. Okay, but when I move, it moves like a spaghetti. It looks like a noodle. There is no bone over here. Okay, so I don't want that. So what I can do is that, instead of having a bony feeling, I can add one more pinpoint over here. So what this pinpoint will do, this will keep the elbow like stiff. It will not move the elbow. Only thing that it will move is this wrist, from the wrist. So you can see it's more stiff over here. It's not moving. Okay, so anything that you want to like stiff, you can add the points, and this point, if you will move, it will also move. But if you will not move, it will create a stiffness. So it is 2 in 1, a moving pin or a stiffness pin. Okay, so if you don't want to move it, it will stiff the like it will create it will make the object stiff. If you want to move it, it will just move it accordingly, the way the place wherever you want. Okay, so what else I can do here is that, if you want, you can rotate this. How you can rotate? If you will see, whenever you click a pinpoint, there is a bounding circle here. If I rotate this bounding circle, it will rotate my pinpoint. So this is how you can also rotate. Okay, now I have this point here which I want to move to create an effect, but I don't think this is the right spot. I will select this one, delete this, and create another one by pressing here. And this is what I'm looking for. So now I will little bit move it up here. Okay, and also I can rotate it by clicking on this outer circle and rotate it in this direction a bit, not too much, and but I can move it here. Also this one I can move it a little bit down for a little dramatic feeling. Okay, this one I can also rotate it bit here, just like this, and move it a little up. Okay, here I can press one more time to move it a little bit down here, so it is more effective. Now when you are done, okay, you can just press the normal selection mode. You will be outside the puppet warp tool. So this is how you can see now it looks like. So very interesting. tool to reshape your object, especially your characters. If you're making cartoon characters, especially those cartoon characters, it will help you to recreate them. Okay, so now you can see how we started and how we ended by transforming different tools here. We have used a couple of transformation tools, distortion tools, reshaping tools, and we came up with this end of the work. Okay, so is everything clear? Any question? Any one of you have question? Is it all clear, everyone? Is it all clear? Okay, so this is how we can use the transformation tools. Quite helpful. Use these tools a lot whenever you're creating anything. Okay, especially when we will move to the logo design. That will help you. Like these all tools will help you. Okay, and next class we will move to another topic. Okay, so take care. And if you have any question, any if you have anything like anything, any topic you want to discuss, you can leave the message on the Teams, and I will have to hopefully get back to you. Okay, guys, take care, and we'll meet you at class. You're welcome.